Welcome to Conflict number 2. Before I get into my absolute best of what I'm going to do with this suit, I want to talk to y'all about martial arts. So yesterday I watched a video on Dojo Life about this dude, or was it today? Somewhere between yesterday and today, because now I can't remember. I watched this dude practicing dodging the sword as the sensei comes down on their head, which I totally don't agree with at all. One, no one on Earth has a spider sense, except Spider-Man. Not this Spider-Man, because Spider-Man 2099 wasn't bit by a radioactive spider, and his spider DNA has no super things outside of the strength in the claws that he has been given on his hands and his feet, and these things. Anyway, that's not relevant to this video. What is relevant to this video is the unsafe practicing of martial arts can get someone killed. You do not have an adamantium skull. You do not have a sixth sense. And 9 times out of 10, these things don't develop in a dojo. Your fighting skills work when you put them to practice. Alright? So yeah, you're training in a dojo? Yeah, that works. It works fine. Will most of the stuff you learn in the dojo work in the street? Let's be honest. Maybe 30%. I know what you're thinking. Why 30%, James? What about the other 70%? Okay, let me explain why I say only 30% of their shit actually works from the dojo to the street. First and foremost, real street fights last anywhere between 2 to 5 minutes. Also depending on how skillful the two participants are in the fight. 9 times out of 10, one good hit will probably put somebody to sleep. If this person doesn't have good defensive skills or good offensive skills, there's no doubt without a question they're probably going to sleep. Or when you watch a fight like on UFC, or one championship, or any other sporting event such as wrestling, it's designed that way because, one, the longer the fight goes, the more the money flows. Understand that. I've never fought professionally, but I've fought in the streets a fucking lot. I know how street fights work. Street fights don't last more than 2 to 5 minutes. Trust me on that. It doesn't take 10 minutes to knock someone out like you do in the movies. Now, if you are the skilled person fighting against someone who isn't skilled, it's more than likely you're going to win the fight. Where you are the unskilled person fighting against the skilled person, it's hardly unlikely but not impossible for you to win the fight. Fights change. Every person that you fight in the street is not the same person that you fought the first time around. I know this because I'm 5'3", and everyone that I fought in the street has been 5'7" or better, and they ain't never came back for a rematch. Not because of this awesome ass suit, but because my face is kind of ugly, but I look cool under the suit. Anyway, the bottom line is unsafe martial art practices can get people hurt. For example, this is a practice comma. This suit doesn't allow me to have any grip. So, doing stuff like that with a practice comma, cool. Doing stuff like that with a real comma can gut your ass to pieces. So you slip and go across here with a real comma, you're going to the hospital because your guts are going to be hanging all over the floor. So I tell people when I work out not to do this with a real comma. And yes, yeah, you see why. Need gloves for this grip. But with the practice comma, you can go all out. Also remember, accidents happen, which is why you practice with the practice comma first. I'll also tell you the truth. In a real fight, this shit here, that's what you're going to use. That shit there, whirling it, like that, not so much. Your opponent's not going to give you the chance to do this. And that could also happen, which me grabbing by the blade means I just lost all my fingers. So doing that, you can do. This, because in a real fight, that ain't going to work. You're not going to have the time. Period. in a street fight, you're definitely not gonna have it. In the movies? Oh, yeah, we're in the movies. Woo. Thought I ripped it. So yeah, great for movies. Not so much in real life. Besides that, in real life, punks these days will just shoot you. They're not even gonna give you time to do that, even with your butterfly knife. So, let's keep it real. If your sensei thinks that you're gonna dodge a fucking wooden sword, a shiite, a sabatu, those things are like an inch and a half thick. And the closer you get to the shaft, the thicker that damn thing gets. I took Aikido. We were never taught that. I know a little bit of samurai. We were never taught that. So either my teacher did not know that, or he came to the realization that somebody's going to get fucked up. Alright? I was taking Taekwondo. We didn't even use those kind of weapons. We were taught how to take a knife from somebody. From Master Jim Ennis in the inner stairway. God rest his soul. And we were taught to take guns from people. Now, honestly, the scenario is probably 20%. But when you get outside in the real world, I would never tell you to try to take a gun or a knife from somebody. Because you're going to get cut. Hey, let's keep that shit real. You're going to get cut. Because you have to be able to see the hand and the knife. And I'm sorry, it has been proven that the hand is quicker than the eye. I wish I had some magic stuff like that. But yeah, you're going to fight outside of the dojo. 30%. Because 9 times out of 10, you may not get the chance to do anything fancy. Tornado kicks, hurricane kicks, butterfly kicks. You got a better chance of that tornado kick than the butterfly kick. The butterfly kick is basically a fucking escape move. Tornado kick is a finisher. The reverse tornado is a finisher. It's a high possibility that you could miss. And they don't tell you what happens to you if you miss in the dojo. But I'm going to tell you the honest truth. I've always used the basics in a street fight. Front kick, side kick, axe kick, jumping front kick. Now, keep that shit real. You're going to train somebody, teach them shit that they can use, not shit that they can't. Not something that's going to get them to go outside and get their ass kicked. Because if they're paying me $150 for 2 months, or if you're paying me a total of $300 or $400 for the year, you're not walking out of my dojo without being able to handle yourself. But there's one little tiny problem with that. You don't do a lot of hard sparring because you don't want to hurt your training partner. And how you train sometimes transfer over into how you fight. You have to be able to cut on that switch to know the difference. If you can't cut on that switch, this is the sound you hear. Hope that showed up on camera. You hear some bones breaking, or more. If you watch my videos, and yeah, I'm probably going to get flack from everybody for this, but 9 times out of 10, if someone like me tells you what not to do, you should probably not do that. Okay, so before I go, let me break this down for you. As simple as I can put it, as simple as I was taught it. You want to keep everything simple so that you can survive the fight. Someone's throwing a jab this way, and you're going to do karate, it's a block and a counter. If someone's throwing a jab the same way, and you're going to do kung fu, you get to the outside of them, block, break, counter. So, block, you can pull and push, or you can grab, pull and push, and slide up the arm and catch them in the throat, or the temple, or under the arm and hit them in a rib. If it's on this side, you want to hit them in the liver, or you want to go kidneys. You want to hit them somewhere that's going to be effective. If you hit them in the sternum, block and counter with the karate, the problem is that they also can block and counter, and you'll be blocking and countering all day, depending on who has the better offense or defense, and you guys are going to be there all day. Same thing can work with Taekwondo. The problem is you don't know how good or bad your opponent is. Which is why when you're training, you learn whose number you have when you train with them. And they learn the same thing about you. Now, I will make another Kung Fu video about how to read people eventually. But sometimes reading people isn't always right, because when you underestimate your opponent, he who hesitates meditates from the horizontal position. Got that one from Vanishing Sun. Thank you, Russell Wong. Thanks for watching. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. Be seeing ya.